welcome to the latest installment of Finding Fascinating People. Today I'm hanging out with Lourds Lane. Awesome name, by the way.
Thank you.
Check it out. Like, you've seen Lourds. She's played McCarnegie Hall when she was 6 years old. The lady went to Harvard, and then she was reviewed and raved about in the Post, Daily News, Billboard Magazine, Teen Magazine, and Fox News. And she's also the creator, the host, promoter of the Medusa Festival. It's a music festival for all female bands.
Female-fronted rockin' band.
What I find most fascinating, she's got her own show. It's called Chix. There you go, right there. What's fascinating about that is, despite having all the talent and the wherewithal to actually be the lead of the show, she put herself in as the supporting role and allowed another artist to lead her show. That's absolutely fascinating. No, seriously, right there. Who does that this day and age?
Here's the deal, is that the lead character is the self-effacing comic book artist who learns how to love herself with the help of her superheroine creations. And she deals with heartbreak and getting out of heartbreak, and really I identify with her because as strong as I am as a person, sometimes it's a little bit trickier in relationships. But the reality is that all the superheroines in the play have a little piece of me, and in particular the person that I most identify with is the quirky nerd.
Misfit.
the misfit, because the reality is that, you know, when I was a little girl I had glasses and braces and braids, and I didn't fit in, and I carried my violin everywhere, and I was quite the nerd.
It does something right, because you're beautiful and you're so talented.
Thank you.
It doesn't come from nowhere. I mean, 3 hours before school and 3 hours after school practicing, that's dedication right there. It's like, who instilled that in you?
Well, when I was younger, my mom was really, really busy. She was a single mom working really hard. My escape was music. So I would go into music and work really hard and play.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome how you transform like classical music, not to rock with that violin, because you have to come watch the show. Like, without doubt, you'll walk out of this show and just be like, did I just see that in Queens?
Oh, that's sweet.
This show is actually what is called a developmental pre-Broadway. What does that mean?
Well, next year we're going to Broadway. That's what that means. And so we are in Queens now to work through the kinks of the show, to work on the script, make sure it's nice and tight. Thus far, we have always gotten a standing ovation. And what's amazing is that the typical Queens theater demographic, the average age is about 80.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm just being real.
I think you've changed things already, though.
Okay, so, right. No, now there are young people coming in, but I just have to say.
I saw like a 7-year-old jumping in the aisle, I swear, because it's a comic book. If you're into Comic-Con, you gotta come watch this show.
It's great because now there are more young kids coming in, and that's really amazing. But the beauty is, even the 80-year-olds at the end of the show are standing up and are really riveted, and the cast are made of Broadway veterans, and they've schooled me because I don't come from Broadway, I come from rock and roll.
Yeah, you're like underground rock and roll.
What I've learned is that it's unusual to get 80-year-olds on their feet at the end of the night. We're on to something. We're on to something. So this is good.
You're like United Nations here. You know, you're Russian. You're
not Russian.
You're not Russian? Where did you get that from?
Filipino.
Filipino, Latina.
And Yugoslavian. So the reason why you got Russian is because I did this New York Post interview at some point, and I said I had these really strict Russian pedagogues in the interview, and they heard parents, or they didn't know what pedagogues meant. So pedagogues are teachers.
I was gonna ask,
what is it? And so he heard parents, and then from on, it was like every press thing would quote the Post and say, this Russian hottie, this Russian, and I became Russian all of a sudden.
Let's clear that up right now. Lourds Lane is not Russian.
I'm not Russian.
And she's not dating Superman either. Every fascinating person answers fascinating questions. But today we're gonna do a little special. We're gonna switch the hat. Chix, baby.
Oh, what? Come on, what? Chix.
Promotions. Product placement, baby.
I didn't even know it was that ad. That's cool.
What is one word that you would use to describe the success you've had in your life?
Passion-filled. That's not really a word, but I'm going to make it a word.
If you could have one superhuman power, what would it be?
To heal.
If there was going to be a plate of food named after you, what would it consist of?
Broccoli.
What is your favorite travel destination around the world?
Costa Rica.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Awesome.
I don't even know how to tweet.
Yeah, all right, so with that, what's your Facebook name?
Lourds Lane.
What is your favorite quote?
If you can't fix it, feature it.
Who do you find fascinating?
My mom. Hug me then, what?
All right, so listen, check her out. Queens Theater in the Park. You're here until when?
October 30th, and then we're heading to Broadway. So come on, check it out.
Yes, come out here. It's awesome. You're not gonna regret it. Bring your girlfriend.
Chix the jammy. What?
What? It's got everything. It's got aerial, it's got fire, it's got lights, guitars.
Electric violin.
Come on. That's right, electric violin. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. Mi gente, come and check her out. ¡Pasa afuera!